Altavista in their home whites, black and orange trim, black socks, black shoes for everybody. Brookville is in the row jerseys with the burgundy red and the yellow trim. Got some white on there as well. Jump ball goes up. Sydney Morris wins the tip and gets it over to Donegan. Altavista controlling the basketball early. Kayla Lee will hand it off to number 22. That's Erica Wilson. I'm sorry. Wilson started instead of Hedgepath. Or maybe it was a late change. Dews driving in, throws up a layup, can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to the Lady Bees.
I like the block out there by the Bees with Hayes getting a butt to the gut of Sydney Morris. Brookville take nice drive and off the window and in for Jeffries, and the Bees strike first, Kyle.
Letty Jeffries, 2 points for her, 2 points for Brookville. Just underway here, 7:22 remaining in the first quarter. First quarter brought to you by Apple Markets in Altavista. Wilson dishes it over to number 24, and that's Lee. Lee inside to Morris. Morris fouled, but they say it's on the floor.
Going against Barksdale. Got her with the body, a little bump.
First one on Barksdale, first one for anybody. And Altavista will inbound underneath their own basket.
49 seconds in, and the Colonels lead 2-0.
Brookville leading 2-0. Altavista inbound, though. Altavista's going to try their best to prove you right, though, Bob Alvis. Get a score here. Erica Wilson has it, left-hand dribble, now picks it up, hands it off to Sydney Morris, three-point line. Good pass inside. They can't finish the layup. Second chance effort won't go. Donegan has it back again, now dishes it to Dews. Altavista's going to reset things inside to Morris on the low block. She tried to go to Donegan, but that's intercepted. Brookville on the fast break, going in, might have walked there. Layup was no good. Now they say number 14, Tanisha Graves, was fouled. Let's see if this was in the act of shooting or not. It appears that it is.
Rarely would
foul.
I say the term bad hop in basketball, but that pass from Morris to Donegan just kind of short hopped her a little bit, or either long hopped her. I don't know how you define it. Bad bounce. Let's put it that way.
It was a bit of a bad break. It may have hit off somebody's shoe or something. Free throw up from Graves, no good, and that's something to keep an eye on, Bob, is the free throw shooting from Brookville, because it wasn't particularly good the first time these two teams met. Second one up.
Board says 32, but there is no 32 out there for Altavista. I think it might have been on Donegan, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, it may be. Donegan's 30, 22 is Erica Wilson. I'd say those are your two best bets. Wilson has it, top of the key. Now to Morris at the free throw line. Morris goes cross court, back to Wilson. She thought about driving to the basket, pulled it out.
So basically what you're saying is if you're scoring at home,
good luck. Steal by Brookville, and it goes in. It's Anitra Thomas with 2 points on the steal and the layup. Brookville with some full court pressure here. Really doing a good job harassing Altavista, and I believe they've caused another turnover, Bob. They did. Colonels lost it out of bounds.
Well, we talk about the Brookville Bees being young. I mean, Altavista, even though they're a little bit older, I mean, you know, it's still not everybody has the same amount of experience. Let me put it that way.
That's right, and sometimes you have juniors and seniors who maybe a little older in age, but maybe they haven't played as much in years past, so it's like they're young players. Brookville basketball. Altavista's in the 2-3 zone. They showed that a lot last week. Thomas will get it over to Graves. Graves now to number 10, Brianna Barksdale. She dribbles once, looking inside. Now she goes to the right wing to Thomas. Thomas looks inside. They get it to Ashton Hayes. Graves going up for a layup, and it's blocked by Sydney Morris. Nice block from Morris there to give Altavista possession. Wilson top of the key, now over to Dews. They cycle it along to Morris. Morris inside to Donegan. Donegan up for two, and she's fouled. Shot was no good. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot two.
Colonels did have a long volleyball season, too, so you've got to think, I mean, obviously they should be physically recovered by this time, but are they emotionally? Or, you know, drained emotionally? I mean, that's a long season.
It is a long season. You put your heart and soul into that. They get all the way to the state semifinals, too, so that adds an element as well. First free throw up and good by Kalia Donegan. 4-1 now. Brookville leading. 5:31 remaining in this first quarter. Second one on the way from Donegan. It's good, too. Both of them nothing but net. And that makes it 4-2 in favor of Brookville. First points of the night for Altavista. Foul along the sideline here by number 11, T.T. Dews.
Tell you, Kyle, we might have to get comfy here tonight.
We may. This could end up being a long one. Nick Bailey, our producer back at the studio, always ready for a long one or a short one. Doesn't matter to him. Well, maybe it does, but It won't tonight. Brookville basketball. Screen there by Graves, and they lose it. Good steal by Morris. They kick it ahead to T.T. Dews. Dews with the layup. It's good, and we're tied up at 4-4. Just over 5 minutes.
Dews had some company coming behind her, too. 3 Brookville Bees.
Sydney Morris blocks the Ashton Hayes shot off the back wall. That was a lot like a volleyball spike. She's done that before.
I don't like to anoint first-teamers in districts, but Sydney Morris is going to definitely have a good shot, I think, to be an all-Dogwood district selection, because she helps Altavista tremendously.
Absolutely. Already 2 blocks tonight, and that one was thunderous and brought some applause as well as it rebounded off the cinder block wall behind the basket. Morris has it on offense now, down low to T.T. Dews. 4-4 tie ball game here from Altavista. Colonels versus the Bees. Steal by Graves from Brookville. She wants to go ahead on the fast break. Fires it up. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Kayla Lee.
Passing lane's a little long for the Colonels on that last play.
Yep, get it inside to Morris. She's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. Both teams look a little winded. Play has been fast-paced, back and forth up and down the court, so everybody deserves a break after that.
Second on Barksdale, third on the Bees. No longer November basketball, though, Mr. Kyle Haney. We're into December basketball now at this point.
That's an interesting point you make.
Morris hits the first. And I'll tell you what, back to Sydney Morris here real quick, and, some other players on the Altavista, too. I mean, a lot of people love offense. I mean, they like somebody that can put the ball in the hole. You give me defense.
That's right.
Any day of the week.
Well, and defense will create the offense. And we've seen that already tonight.
Let's go back to what John Patterson came on this air and said when he was broadcasting with us years ago.
I'm going to play my best 2 defensive players. Sydney Morris makes both her free throws. Makes it a 6-4 game in favor of Altavista. Now it's 6-6. Layup there by Kalia Marshall for the Brookville Bees. She's just a freshman. Brookville's got a bunch of them. Sydney Morris going the other way on a fast break. Fires up a layup. Gets it to go. 8-6 now. Morris has scored the last 4 points for Altavista. She's providing some full court pressure here. Bees are going to have to hurry to break the timeline. They do. Graves, bounce pass inside. They get it to number 34, Alexis Rosser, and she scores.
We're only halfway through this first period, Kyle, and it is Lakers-Celtics out here.
I'm already winded. 8-8, tie ball game. Altavista turns it over. Bad bounce pass there. Brookville going the other way. They get it inside. Great fast break layup right there, and the bucket by Marshall.
Well, I'm not throwing in the towel for you, so you're on your own.
10-8, Bees lead. Ryan Hedgepath checked in the game. She has the basketball now. Right dribble out by the three-point line. Turnover. Brookville has it, and they're going in a hurry again. Graves inside. Now it's to Barksdale. Barksdale kicks it out to Rosser. Rosser with the jump shot from 14 feet, and that goes in just inside the free throw line. Coach Spencer wants a timeout. Bees lead 12-8. We'll take it with her. 30-second timeout. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first quarter. Altavista trailing by 4 on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Hey, Bob. First quarter is brought to you by Apple Markets. 3 great locations. Gateway, Main Street, Riverside. There's always an Apple Market close by. And this game is close. It's a 4-point ball game. Bees lead, though, and they've sort of stretched that lead out a little bit here. Hedgepath has the ball for the Colonels. Inside to Chelsea Robinson. Robinson back out to T.T. Dews. Now they'll go to the high block to number 44. That's Brittany Mason. She goes up for a shot and is fouled in the process. Mason's just a freshman, and she'll go to the free throw line for a pair now. Shot was no good.
Rosser, the culprit, her first, team's fourth. I talked about how I like defense, Kyle. I think Deborah Spencer does too, and I think that's what precipitated that timeout.
I think you're right. I think she likes it a lot more than you do, actually. Free throw up and good from Mason.
Let's not quibble about who likes defense more.
Altavista perfect so far from the free throw line. 5 for 5.
Mason only a freshman.
Yep. Going to try and make the second one here. 12-9 ball game. 3:03 remains in the first quarter. She does miss the second one. Rebound Bees, and there's going to be a foul on the rebound. Foul is going to go against number 24, Kayla Lee. Her first, I think.
7 combined from the teams.
Yep, 3 from Altavista, 4.
They threw that foul against
Brookville.
Robinson, actually.
Wow.
Number 12.
How about that? Brookville basketball. Just in front of the half-court stripe is number 22, Letty Jeffries. She gets it over to Rosser. Rosser chest pass down to Kalia Marshall. Marshall gets it stolen. Great defense there from T.T. Dews. Dews for the layup. Count that one. And now it's a 12-11 game. Altavista's pulled within 1 there off the steal. There's that defense that Bob and I have been talking about all night. Gets 2 points for the Colonels right there.
Somebody told me, too, that Dean Hubbard spent a lot of money for these backboards. Why not use them?
Dews did just that, converting the layup. 12-11 ball game. Just over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Brookville basketball. Altavista's in the 2-3 zone. Brookville just passing it around the perimeter. Bounce pass to Rosser.
Do you have to pay royalties when I use your lines?
My lawyers are still working up something. We'll be in touch with your people. Drive to the hoop is Jeffries. Now she kicks it back out to Marshall. Marshall going to the basket. She's stopped. 3-point attempt from Thomas is no good. Back iron. Rebound still loose. Thomas got her own rebound. Missed the second one. And Ryan Hedgepath got the board for the Lady Colonels.
Great job in a 2-3 there by Altavista. I think a lot of people think the zone is not aggressive. But that was aggressive.
It was aggressive defense from the Colonels. Good, solid man-to-man aggressive defense from the Bees is going to get a deflection knocked out of bounds off Brookville, so Altavista will retain.
Chokes me up. It's very emotional.
I know.
It's an aggressive 2-3 zone.
When you're a defensive mastermind like Bob Alvis, you do get choked up when you see the aggressive 2-3 zone like that. Inbound to T.T. Dews. Overhead pass to Sydney Morris. Morris is around the 3-point line. Now she'll give it up to Lee. Lee looking inside, going back to Morris. This is contested. Now it's going to get called a jump ball, dual possession, and the possession arrow favors the Bees.
If I had to complain about anything for Altavista tonight, the passing from Altavista has been a little bit lethargic at times. And, you know, I think a lot of people sometimes just take passing for granted. Like, hey, I know where you are. Easy peasy.
Well, and when you got 2 good defensive teams like these 2 ball clubs, they're going to try and get in there and intercept those passes. And they've done that very thing tonight several times. Brookville basketball running a motion offense around this zone. Number 14, Tanisha Graves, has the basketball. Now she'll give it up. That's Jeffries. Jeffries started the scoring for Brookville. And the Bees lead by 1, 12-11. Under a minute to go now. They get it inside to Jeffries. It's blocked by Sydney Morris. Another one for Morris, and she got the block herself and started the transition. Now Dews has it over to Ryan Hedgepath for the Altavista Colonels.
I like the defense by Jeffries, pushing the Hedgepath towards that half-court line, making her really conscious of where her feet are.
Yeah, Brookville's defensive effort has really been stingy tonight. Entry pass inside, and it looks like it's gone out of bounds off number 12, Chelsea Robinson. She had the basketball, but maybe just stepped on the baseline there.
30
Turnover.
seconds even left in the quarter.
12-11, Brookville leads.
Pace has been faster than the score, really, too.
Yeah,
a lot of baskets go down.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of back and forth. Both teams getting up and down the court. They're going to be tired tomorrow morning, that's for sure. Bees basketball now, under 15 seconds. Graves looking inside. Now she gets it over to Thomas. Thomas has got some height and can shoot the 3 ball. We're under 8 seconds now. Graves has it again. Graves to the free throw line. Stops. They get it to Rosser. Jump shots and air ball. Altavista's got about 2 seconds left. They kick it ahead. Buzzer sounds. Could not get a shot off. So the first quarter has come to a close. 12-11. Brookville Lady Bees lead over Altavista. Second quarter on the way on 105.5 KD Country.
The game is brought to you by these members of the Altavista Sports Club.
Chef's Drive-In, serving hometown pride with 18 flavors of milkshakes.
Comfort Inn in Altavista, outdoor pool and free hot breakfast with your stay.
Steve's Florist, best quality at the best price for all occasions.
El Cerrito Mexican Restaurant, authentic Mexican food, open 7 days a week.
Aubrey Rosser, attorney at law, Main Street, Altavista.
Piece of Pie Restaurant, Lower Broad Street, Altavista. Give peace a chance.
China Walk Super Buffet, American and Chinese food with the newest item, crab.
Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, your Michelin tire store.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Lady Colonels basketball in 105.5 KD Country. I'm Kyle Haney with Bob Alvis. Bob, 12-11 first quarter. Brookville leading. It was fast-paced and exciting, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, every aspect, offense, defense. You know, it was a very fast-paced quarter. There was some sloppiness from both sides, but there was also a lot of made baskets from both sides.
There was, and I think that sloppiness was a lot on the defense. Get it inside to Donegan. Kalia Donegan goes up for two. Shot won't go, but she's fouled.
I like the aggressiveness. She didn't have much help down the paint, but Kalia Donegan sees mismatches. She knows there's so many people around, likely she's going to get fouled. Second one against Thomas, and Miss Donegan goes back to the stripe for two.
Yeah, we talked about the work that she and Sydney Morris did together last week against Brookville. Really good 1-2 punch because they can both score, they can both pass, and they can both play defense. First free throw up and good from Kalia Donegan.
Played a big role last year in that team that went to the state semis, too.
Yep.
I mean, older sister Kayla was on the team and did, I thought, one of the most fundamental players that there was on the squad. But Kalia, you know, really added a spark. Missed the free throw right there. Morris with the board.
Morris couldn't get her follow-up to go. It was a great effort. She was just really in a bad position there. Brookville gets the rebound on that. Thomas for three, and that's good. Great shot right in the middle of the court. Three-pointer goes down for Anitra Thomas. 15-12 now, Bees lead. Showing a little half-court pressure here, sort of a half-court trap. Colonel's trying to break that. They get it to Hedgepath. Hedgepath back and forth with Dews, top of the key. Now to Kalia Donegan. Donegan's double team. She finds Hedgepath. Good ball movement, but the Colonels couldn't hold on. Great pressure defense from Brookville, and Altavista returns the favor. They knock it away. It'll still be Bees basketball.
That was a great look by Hedgepath. I don't think that was her fault. I just think it was one of those instances. Sydney Morris, what guts. I mean, you know, a lot of times when you see somebody try to get the ball right back there like that, they're going to pick up a foul. But Sydney still being aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, Sydney Morris lost it and then tried to get it right back. Couldn't quite get a handle on it and went out of bounds. Stays with the Bees.
She can play on my team any day.
Absolutely.
Complete player.
I think she can play on anybody's team any day. Graves now left wing to Thomas. Thomas thought about another three. Graves thinks about one, drives to the basket, draws some contact, no foul. Ball is loose on the ground. Graves has it. She can't control it. Dews has it. She lost it. It's a mad scrum for it. Thomas comes away with it for the Bees. She's getting triple team, and she just has to throw it back out towards midcourt.
I like the calmness by Brookville, though. They're not appearing panicked at all, even though the pace got a little frantic.
Yeah, they really had to fight to maintain possession there, but they did just that. Good job. You said it, Bob Alvis. Left wing now is number 12, Kalia Marshall.
Colonel's back in that zone, it looks like.
And they got a steal out of it. Kayla Lee with the steal and the layup. Uncontested. 2 points for her. 15-14. We're back to a 1-point game, Mr. Alvis.
Tell you what, I think these two teams play 10 times and nobody's going to get a 10-point, 20-point win.
No way. And it would probably be 5-5. Or at least 6-4 maybe one way.
Back in our days, it's a district game.
That's right. Marshall has it for the Bees. Bounce pass. That was almost stolen. Ball is still loose here. Sydney Morris got tangled up and sort of twisted the wrong way.
Got the foul called on her, too.
Yeah, Ashton Hayes, who has about the same size and the same frame as Sydney Morris. They got tangled up fighting for that loose ball. Foul was on Sydney Morris, like you said, Bob. 6 minutes remaining in this second quarter, which is presented to you by the Apple Markets of Altavista. 15-14, Brookville leads. Anitra Thomas, three ball from the left wing, gets that one to go. She hit one about a minute ago from the top of the key. This one comes from the left-hand arc.
And, you know, I don't think we're doing justice to the Colonel's defense. It's not poor on the perimeter. I mean, Thomas is taking shots where she is contested.
That's exactly right. Inside to Donegan. Colonel's trying to go towards the basket. Donegan's fouled. No shot attempt, so this is on the floor.
It's about to not be on the floor because that's foul number 6.
You bring up a good point. Next one that the Bees commit will put the Lady Colonels to the line for a bonus. Three-pointer by Dews. Short. Rebound still loose. And it's stolen back by Sydney Morris. Morris bounce passes it to Dews. She can't get it to go. Donegan had it smacked away. Thought there was some contact. No call. Basketball stays with Altavista. 5:28 remaining in this first half.
I like the effort on both sides.
Great effort on both sides tonight. 4-point lead for Brookville. Power dribble inside. Morris goes up. She gets fouled. She'll get to go to the free throw line. And finally, a little breather for everybody because, again, it's been fast-paced. And the ball possession has been exchanged a bunch between these two clubs.
It's tough for defense to, you don't see that too often. Sydney having a hard time on that free throw, barely. I don't even know if she threw the front of the iron. You know, the thing about it is tonight, the defense inside, you really got to watch your P's and Q's because the officials are calling it a little bit tight, I think, when it goes inside. So, you know, Sydney Moore's shot blocking ability even more special when you consider that. Knocks the second one down.
That's exactly right. 1 of 2 there from the free throw stripe that time for Morris. Graves might have walked with the basketball. Gets it out of her hands over to Kalia Marshall for the Bees.
Colonels down by a triple, Kyle. 18-15 as we approach 5 to go in the first half.
Altavista still in that zone, but they extend it out and pressure Brookville. They're not just sitting back. It is aggressive, like Bob Alvis said. And Brookville's had to work for all 18 of their points.
You know, if you're going to play passive and play for Deborah Spencer, you're going to have a nightmare.
You're exactly right.
She might not demand perfection, but she demands hard effort every play.
Donegan and Lee double teaming the ball carrier, and now Sydney Morris has it on the steal. Hedgepath has it now, and Altavista is going to set up their offense. Give Wilson and Donegan a lot of credit for causing that errant pass that Sydney Morris picked up. Ryan Hedgepath looking inside to Morris. She gets it on a little lob pass. Morris up and good for 2. Nice pass by Hedgepath and a good finish from Sydney Morris. 18-17, 1-point lead for Brookville. Again, we've been saying that a lot. 4 minutes and 10 seconds remain in the first quarter.
You know, we've made a big deal talking about basketball shape and everything. I think it takes a little while to get basketball confidence back. You can't get it back, in that 2-hour practice in the gym as much as you can when the bright lights are shining and there are some people in the stands.
Yeah, people talk about the fitness and the conditioning all the time, getting into basketball shape. Well, I think it's just as much about finding your shot again and making those passes, knowing when to go with the bounce pass or when to go with the high lob like Hedgepath did earlier. Hedgepath going to go for 2 herself this time. Layup no good. Got her own rebound, but she may have been out of bounds when she picked it up, and now she is down on one knee.
Again, love the effort. Don't know if Hedgepath kind of got knocked across the face or something right there, but yeah. I'll tell you, I love Angela Emerson to death, but I hate to mention her name because normally that means somebody's down. She does a great job. She does a fantastic job. She's out on the court right now checking on Ryan Hedgepath. We'll take a 30-second timeout here with this stoppage in play. Altavista's trailing by 1, 17-18, just under 4 minutes remain in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
50 years of outstanding high school sports coverage on 105.5 KD Country. Bob, the Christmas basket program taking place Sunday, and of course Dave Haney will be there. Robert Duff will be there. Robert Duff is a big part of the Altavista Rotary Club. Chester Brockwell will be there, who I believe you were here when we had him on in the football season. Their first round of the playoffs, we had Mr. Brockwell on.
Who?
It is. I don't know why you and I weren't invited.
Yeah.
I guess because it's a who's who. Right? We're nobodies. Hedgepath walking off the court under her own power.
Sure, it was an oversight on Dave and Robert's part of not putting us on the list.
Yeah, the memos probably got lost in the mail somewhere, our invitation. Brookville basketball, they'll inbound. Second quarter brought to you by Apple Markets. Check out the weekly specials. You can hear about them during the game here tonight. Apple Markets, 3 great locations. 3 minutes and 45 seconds now. Brookville leading by 1. Rosser has it for them. Now she gets it over to Tanisha Graves.
Erica Wilson back in the game for the Colonels.
Yeah, Wilson came in for Hedgepath. And they're still giving Hedgepath a look over there on the bench. We'll keep an eye on that. Brookville content just to pass around the perimeter.
Boys hoops going tonight, too, I believe. William Campbell and Rustburg in another good old county rivalry.
That is a good one. We've seen both of those two teams in the past. We'll see them this year. Steal by Sydney Morris. Great play by her. Going to the rack for the layup. Can't get it to go, but she's fouled, so she'll head back to the free throw line boy, I count 3 or 4 blocks for Morris, Bob, and at least that many steals. So, you know, you could really say that's 8 possessions that she's created for the Altavista Colonels here tonight. That's pretty doggone good.
Told you, I like defense.
Free throw, no good from Morris. Second one to follow. It was the second foul for Kalia Marshall. And the 8th team foul for the Brookville Lady Bees.
Kyle, you might be doing play-by-play for the rest of the year if I don't get rid of this call.
We're going to send you to a specialist. We're going to send you to Angela Emerson first. And then she's going to refer you to a specialist, I'm sure. She won't want to go near you. She might think it's contagious.
Well, I don't blame anybody for wanting to go near me, healthy or...
Second free throw up and good from Sydney Morris.
Colonel's approaching the double bonus, too.
That's right. 18 fouls for Brookville. It's an 18-18 ball game. Tied up here with just over 3 minutes to go in the half.
Tell you, if I'm Warner Dyke, I'm going to get on my team about the passing here in the first half. Because some of the passes have been, you know, like I said, taken for granted type passes of where I think you're going to catch it, so I don't have to, you know, put a lot of oomph to it.
Traveling violation there against Rosser from Brookville. They go long on the inbounds to Sydney Morris. Morris has it. Layup up and good. Great designed play there from Altavista. Morris benefits. 2 more for her. Colonels have got a lead, 20-18.
I know you and Oscar Briggs did a great job with football this year. That was a little go route right there.
That was the old go route. That's right. A nice pass. Wilson on the inbounds to Sydney Morris. Altavista's defensive pressure has really been good here in the second quarter. Bees haven't scored in a while. Thomas is going to try and change that. Nice hesitation move, then a pump fake. Gets it to go from about 9 feet.
This has been her quarter, draining 2 threes. And then that.
Colonels tried to go long again on the inbounds. Morris couldn't handle it. That's because it was knocked away by the Bees. So the Colonels will maintain possession. Tanisha Graves checking back in for the Brookville Bees. 20-20.
Thomas has all 8 in this frame, Mr. Haney.
That's pretty impressive. Although maybe not a great sign if you're a Brookville fan. Some people's career high.
Yeah, well, career and game for me, all in one.
That's right. They ejected you after that one game, and you were banned by David Stern. Lob pass from Sydney Morris. She was looking for Robinson. Robinson couldn't handle it. Ball goes out of bounds, and it looks like this is going to go back to the Lady Colonels from Altavista. Good defense by Robinson when she couldn't pull in the pass. She turned into a defender right there on the baseline.
And, you know, I talked about what good passing bigs Altavista has. Morris tried to get in for the lob, couldn't get it.
Knocked away. Bees have it. That's Ashton Hayes. Hayes went up with it. She got fouled. I believe this foul is on Erica Wilson. It is.
What I was going to say is about the great passing bigs that Altavista has. It can kind of hurt you in some ways sometimes, though, because they're up so high. An easy little soft pass for them doesn't get the trajectory, I guess is my point. I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't think I'm saying it.
Well, I think I know what you're saying. I think you're saying sometimes the angles are a little bit different. You know, sometimes it is easier to throw that high lob to a big player rather than go with that bounce pass, you know, and the guards are maybe more likely to use the bounce pass. Second free throw up and good for Hayes. She made 1 of 2, and it gives Brookville a 1-point lead. 21-20. We're under 2 minutes now in the half. Chelsea Robinson driving to the lane left-handed. It got blocked. Morris got a rebound. She went up for it. Was fouled, but they say it's a jump ball. And the possession arrow is going to go to the Brookville Bees. So nice defensive stop on the fast break there for the Lady Bees.
Staying with Colonels.
No, it's going to stay with the Colonels. Okay. Possession arrow showing Brookville.
Well, it is going to Brookville.
I knew I was right.
I like Kayla Lee's strategy right there. Just stand there and, you know, maybe they
take the ball. Right, exactly.
Right, you know, officials are not infallible. Oh, Warner Dyke using this as a little bit of a timeout, but if you're...
Still got to break the 10-second mark.
I was going to say, if you're Graves, you got to get across that line.
Graves had the basketball uncontested, but she was near the Brookville bench talking to Coach Warner Dyke, and they probably used up 8 or 9 of the 10 seconds, but she made it over without the violation. Thomas has it for Brookville. She's done most of the scoring this quarter. 16-footer is up and good. Got it to go. It just barely nicked the front iron and rolled in. Good jumper from Anitra Thomas. 23-20 now, Bees lead.
With the exception of Hayes' free throws, Thomas has all the scoring, and she's definitely the Bees' knees for the Bees.
Absolutely. Got the hot hand. They get it inside to Morris in the paint, who has the hot hand. Goes up for 2, fouled. Shot didn't even get to the rim, but she'll go back to the free throw line where we've seen her a lot in this first half.
You know, I think if Sydney Morris her career ambition, maybe she can succeed in selling, because she sells those fouls so well just by going up and getting into motion. Struggling from the line tonight as she misses that one. Foul went against Ashton Hayes, who's also a freshman. I'll tell you what, Bees have some size in that front court. That's young.
Yeah, you're right, and that's the thing with the Bees is most of their young players are their bigger players, forwards and centers, that kind of thing. Second free throw, no good for Morris. She almost committed a foul going after the rebound. Whistle did not blow, and Marshall came away with it for Brookville. Now Graves has it on the dribble. Jump stop. They get it to Thomas again for three. This one's off back iron, no good. It had a chance, though. Morris got the rebound and lost it. Kayla Lee picked it up.
Under a minute.
Colonel's trailing by 3.
I'll tell you, that 3 might have chased me from the booth, because, I mean, Thomas, her hand is just so sizzling. I'm waiting for fire alarms to go off.
No kidding. We've seen that before in this gym, but that was a long time ago. Me and Doc Slusher were here. Sydney Morris has it on the perimeter.
Fire alarm went off?
I'll get to that story later. We got a good ball game here. Bees lead by 3. They knocked it away. It'll stay with Altavista. 32.4 seconds left. That'll be a good halftime story.
I've seen some hot hands, too.
That's right. Well, that gets in the story as well. Just let's get to halftime, and then we'll have something for the Subway halftime
show.
Write
a book.
T.T. Dews for 3. Ooh. Side of the iron, no good. Barely caught the rim. Stolen away by Morris. Morris can't get hers to go. Dews is there. Colonels have 3 players. Now 4. They get it back to Morris again. Morris finally gets it to go on the 3rd chance. Under 15 seconds. Great perseverance there by all the Lady Colonels on that one. Graves driving ahead, and they're going to call her for carrying the basketball, palmed the basketball. And that turnover comes with 8.8 seconds left. So Altavista may have the final possession of the half, and they could take the lead here down 1.
This could be your momentum changer. I mean, last week it took till about the 4th quarter, but this could really swing the pendulum.
Ball gets inbounded. Dews has it. We're under 6 seconds now. Get it over to Lee. Lee inside to Donegan. Donegan goes up. She got some contact. No call. Buzzer sounds. And Altavista is going to end the second quarter the way they started it, trailing by 1. Brookville leads 23-22. Back with the Subway halftime show on 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Accidents happen. When your windshield is chipped, come to Apple Auto Glass, 2429 Ford Avenue. They'll repair your chip for $39.95. In shop, only $39.95. Apple Auto Glass and Mirrors, 2429 Ford Avenue, Lynchburg. Give them a call at 846-2753, 846-2753. That's 846-2753. Apple Auto Glass, proud sponsor of Altavista Sports. Go Colonels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from Altavista High School. Brookville leading 23-22 over the Lady Colonels from Altavista. Exciting, spirited first half. Brookville led by 1 to end the first quarter. They lead by 1 to end the second quarter. And I'm sure Coach Deborah Spencer does not really want to be trailing by 1 to end the third quarter. But you definitely don't want to be trailing to end the fourth quarter. And, it's sort of playing out kind of the same way it did last week at Brookville, where Altavista trailed for better part of the ball game, better part of 3 quarters anyway. And then in the fourth quarter, the Colonels sort of took over and stretched a lead out of their own, held on for a victory. It is the Subway halftime show. Subway, eat fresh, 2 great locations. Main Street in Altavista, and of course inside the Walmart on Clarion Road. And Bob, that Christmas basket thing we were talking about is at the Walmart on Clarion Road. If anybody wants more information, they can check out our website, check out the Altavista Rotary Club, or
I didn't miss the fire
give any of them a call.
Yet,
no, you have not missed the fire alarm story yet. We'll take a timeout and come back on the Subway halftime show with the fire alarm story. The story so far in this one, Colonels trail 23-22 in a tight ball game. More on the Subway halftime show after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Good news from Altavista area apple markets. Check out these new in-store specials. 99 cents for any coffee or cappuccino. Trade winds and sweet leaf teas 2 for $1.50. And a 24-pack of Coke only $5.99. Or grab the 4-piece chicken tenders, fries, and garlic toast for just $4.99 at Riverside or Main Street Apple Market locations. At Gateway, get half a pizza and a medium drink only $5.99. Visit the Apple Market convenience stores soon for these great deals.
Don't you think it's time that your business account made you money? I'm Marion Marshall with First National Bank, and we've introduced a small business interest checking account that earns your business interest. That's right, interest. So for a progressive small business checking account, come to First National Bank today. We'll show how your business account will earn interest, and we'll provide you with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The memory of the loss of a loved one can be difficult to cope with during the holiday season. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services invites you to a holiday remembrance service this Sunday at 4. The Reverend Bobby Brumfield, pastor from New Beginnings Baptist Church, will conduct this special service to honor families who have lost a loved one during the past year. That's this Sunday at 4 at Finch & Finch Chapel in Altavista. For a special webcast, go to FinchandFinchFuneralService.com for more information.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show. Subway Eat Fresh. Colonels trailing by 1 here to the Brookville Bees, Bob. Now, as Bob Alvis tallies up some halftime statistics, unofficial as always, I'll tell you about this fire alarm story here. The fire alarm was set off here at Altavista High School during a game, and it ties in with the place we're going Tuesday, Gretna. The Hawks were in town for a guys' basketball game, and I'll tell you, it was a lot of interesting scenarios in this one. It was probably 10 or 11 or, you know, it was probably at least 10 years ago, because I think Kenny Hunt was a sophomore or a junior or something.
Well, where was I at then?
You weren't here. You were on vacation that day.
I was on assignment.
Right, you were on assignment. So anyway, Mark Slusher and I were doing the game, and it was a game that they moved the game time up. JV started at 4:30 because they were expecting some bad weather, and I think the bad weather did come in. But anyway, here's the point of the story. Mr. Kenny Hunt got so hot in the first half. I think he scored like 25 or something in one half in the first half of that ball game. The fire alarm goes off right as halftime's starting. Nobody in the gym moves. Everybody in the gym wants to stay because the game is so good.
That's what the fire department loves to see.
It's a tie ball game. Well, come to find out, the fire alarm was set off accidentally, so everybody was in the right, I guess, not to move. But normally you hear the fire alarm, you at least look at the exit and say, hey, should we go there or not?
And that's one where you could honestly worry about trampling. I say that seriously, because with so many people that get to these Altavista Gretna,
I know.
You know,
that's why they say walk to the exit.
Right. May I say something here that's very important?
You may. The story's pretty much done.
It was a good story.
Although I did make the comment to Coach Slusher. He was a coach. I made a comment to Mr. Slusher that, geez, I knew Kenny Hunt was hot, but we didn't have to pull the fire alarm to stop him here.
And, Mark Slusher did an outstanding job not only on these airways, but with the PA.
Absolutely.
As did Mr. Kenny Hunt and Mr. Oscar Briggs. But we got the real star of the show up here tonight, Miss Donegan, with us to my right. And, that's when I feel safe.
Absolutely. She's in a long line of great public address announcers here, but
I think she's taking it.
I think, well, that's what I'm saying. I think she's taking it to a new level.
These other guys, they're just watching her footprints.
Seeing nothing but the taillights, I guess, because they're not going to catch up. That's for sure. Go ahead.
I was going to say, hopefully there will be some good play in this one in the second half.
Yeah, I think the Lady Colonels would love to catch up, although they've had a lead in this one several times. It's not like last week where they trailed really all the way until the fourth quarter. In this one, they've had a lead from time to time, but they trail by 1 here. It is the Subway halftime show. Subway Eat Fresh. Do you want to take one more time out before we do the stats?
Yeah, what's your favorite piece of playground equipment, by the way?
Oh, man.
How about the seesaw?
Okay.
That's what we got going here.
All right. I was wondering where you were going with that. I didn't know if you were
Stick with me, brother.
Selling playground equipment now or
Not
what?
yet.
Yeah, always be closing.
The economy doesn't get better, though. You never know.
You never know. It's a growth industry, that's for sure. Subway halftime show. One more timeout, then we'll come back with some hoops action. Lady Colonels trail by 1 on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
Installing atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show wrapping up here. Both teams are out on the court doing some halftime shooting around, getting loose again after the locker room sessions. And Bob Alvis, I believe, has compiled some halftime statistics for us.
Yes. For the Brookville Bees, they are led by Anitra Thomas's 12 points, Marshall with 4, Rosser and Jeffries each with 2, and Hayes chipped in the lone free throw for the Bees. And for Altavista, Sydney Morris is leading the Colonels with 12. Takara T.T. Dews has 4. Kalia Donegan has 3. Kayla Lee with 2. And Brittany Mason, the lone free throw for Altavista. They've hit more free throws, but the lone point, I should say, for those young ladies.
You know, really, first part of the game, Colonels were pretty good from the free throw line. They sort of faded a little bit. Seemed like they were hitting 1 of 2 a lot there in the second
free about
quarter.
A free throw.
No, you're right, and it can be pretty tough. And as I mentioned, Brookville really struggled from the line last week, and they haven't been there as much this week, so maybe that's a good thing.
I'm not really good at analyzing free throw shooting, as we know from our little shootout at Liberty that time. But, I mean, the thing about it is it could be mental, but it also could be physical.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about the free throws. You know, I mean, everything else we can kind of put a finger on.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. It is sometimes tough just to identify the problem. Altavista starts with the ball here in this second half. Just underway, they trail by 1, 23-22. Inside, low block to Morris. Spin move. She's looking for some space. Can't find it. Lost the basketball. Tries to get it back. Cannot. Bees will take over, but they're pressured in the backcourt. Now they get it across the timeline. Down inside to Barksdale. Barksdale cross court, top of the key. Now they swing it down low for a three-pointer, and it's good. Letty Jeffries from that far corner down there knocks down the 3 ball, and that makes it a 26-22 4-point lead for the Bees, just like that, Bob.
Tell you don't see anybody turning around looking at Waterdyke if they shoot a shot, though, and I like that because it means they're not afraid to throw it up.
Yeah, Bees have thrown up the 3 ball a bunch tonight. Anitra Thomas has made 2. Jeffries sank that one right there. Chelsea Morris comes out of the game. Chelsea Robinson checks in. Brookville has the basketball. See if they go for the 3 ball again here.
And I'll tell you, Sydney's played a good game tonight for Altavista. Sydney Morris is tough down low, but the defense is what I like. And, you know, Robinson has that as well. Real good defender and rebounder.
Absolutely right. Jeffries has it in that corner again. Passing it up this time over to Barksdale. Barksdale had to save it. She does. Over to Tanisha Graves.
Bees are getting some major hustle points in my books tonight.
Absolutely. Zone defense again for Altavista. Thomas, free throw lane, now gets it over Jeffries. Jeffries took too many steps trying to go to the basket, so it'll be a turnover. And the Lady Colonels will have the basketball. 6:43 remaining here in the Apple Market third quarter. 26-22 is our score.
And I'll tell you, if you have stock and seat cushions, probably not a good idea to buy them for Warner Dyke and Deborah Spencer during a game. Rarely do they sit.
Bounce pass inside. Donegan couldn't handle it. It was intercepted by Thomas from Brookville. Bees have it. Graves got knocked to the floor. See who this foul is against. Sidney Morris going to check back in during the stoppage here. Foul is on Donegan. First of the half for the Lady Colonels, and the second of the game for Kalia Donegan.
And, you know, I think some people stand up and pace the sidelines for show. Not Warner Dyke and Deborah Spencer. They're working, folks.
That's exactly right. Both of these coaches animated, excitable, and doing their part to help their team win the ball game. Zone defense has been extended a little bit. Sidney Morris at the top of that zone, really harassing the Brookville point guards and making it tough. Graves has it, throws it over the top to Barksdale. It's really just been back and forth between Barksdale and Graves here on the perimeter. Now they get it down low to Hayes. Hayes thought about a shot. Now she dribbles, tried to hand it off. Donegan just took it away from her. Great steal from Kalia Donegan. Donegan has to hold up on the fast break and gets it to T.T. Dews. Dews is about 35 feet away from the basket. Lost it on the dribble. Good steal by Graves. Graves up ahead to Barksdale. Barksdale had to pull up. Jumper gets it to go. 28-22. Good defensive war right there was waged, and Brookville came out on top with 2 points. Now they'll try to get a steal again. Sidney Morris to Erica Wilson.
Colonels have yet to score in this frame.
And haven't really attempted a shot, to my knowledge, in this third quarter, Bob.
I think that's Brookville doing.
Brookville's defense is getting stingy again like it was in the first quarter. Morris tried to give and go and couldn't get it back. Bees with another steal. Barksdale has it. Going for the layup. Right-hand dribble. Couldn't get it to go. And let's see who it's off of. They say it's just off of Barksdale. No foul and no touching of the basketball by Altavista.
I'll tell you, Kayla Lee was going down step for step with her. So, you know, we talked about the coaches with Coach Dyke and Coach Spencer, but a timeout's going to be called, so I'll get back to that point later.
We'll talk about them when we come back from the timeout. 30-second timeout. Bees lead 28-22. 5 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Fellers Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Fellers Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
28-22. Brookville stretched their lead out a little bit. They led by 1 to start the half. Altavista has not scored yet in this half. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Lob pass ahead to Morris. Morris pulls up for 2. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes to Graves. Graves getting out in a hurry. She'll get it down to the other end herself, and it's blocked away by T.T. Dews. Possession will stay with Brookville.
Tell you what, I don't know about you, sir, but I see just in 7 days great improvement in the Bees.
Yeah, I really would agree with that. You know, their guards, I think, are really doing a better job taking care of the basketball and using that tempo to their advantage when they can. Altavista back in the zone defense, so Brookville will keep it along the perimeter here.
Well, I think last week was a feel-good, you know, hey, we all got a varsity uniform type week, but now it looks like more of, you know, tenaciousness.
I think you're right. Pull up, long 2 for Barksdale. Can't get it to go. Front iron, then off the backboard. Tried to get the steal. Actually, that was Graves. It gets knocked away. Altavista's going to keep it. Dews will inbound on the sideline.
And I don't think Altavista's played bad. I think some of the thing that has hurt them, though, is just a few mistakes here and there, and the mistakes are strung in the string.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot of mistakes to hurt you against Brookville. Scoop up and under layup from Sidney Morris using the baseline. Throws it up NBA style, gets it to go, and she's fouled, Bob. She'll go to the free throw line. First points of the half for the Altavista Colonels.
You know, Morris, I think I talked about her being one of the better players in Dogwood. ABC 13's full court press starts up in January, and they do a team at the end of the year, too, and she might be on that full court press team because she's got some talent that's not just confined to a district.
Sinks the free throw to be making it the old-fashioned three-point play right there. Good job from Morris. And you're absolutely right. Great defender. Great on offense, too. Steal there by Donegan and Morris. Morris with a spin move. Pulls up for a jumper. Took some contact. No call. Can't get it to go. And there's the jump ball as Kayla Lee and Anitra Thomas were tied up fighting for the rebound. Possession arrow gives it to the Bees.
To be honest, I thought that was a little quick on that jump ball whistle.
It was quick. It looked like Lee came in there and took it away from the Brookville Bees, but the jump ball whistle came out before she could get full possession. So it stays with Brookville. 3:57 remaining in the third quarter. Bees lead 28-25.
Interesting to see Morris at the top of this zone, Kyle. You would think your taller player is going to be down low, but Sydney's out there right on the perimeter.
You know, she's so quick like a guard, plus she's got the long arms, makes it really tough. Jumper here from Thomas. Thomas gets it to go. 13-footer right in front of the foul line. Great jump shot from Anitra Thomas. Brookville applying some full court pressure here. Altavista can break the timeline. Kayla Lee has it. Now up top to Erica Wilson. Wilson almost lost it, but Donegan came up with it for the Lady Colonels.
Keep in mind, Morris only a junior.
That's exactly right. It's a great fact, too, keep in mind. Morris goes up for a jumper. Gets it to go. Highly contested. Using the window right there. Her 5th point of the quarter. She's the only one that scored for the Lady Colonels this quarter. Makes it a 1-point game again. Excuse me, it's a 3-point game. Brookville leading 30-27.
Talented at another sport, too. Volleyball.
She's probably talented at a bunch of sports, but you're right. Steal here from Morris. Picks it up on the loose ball. 2-pointer good. Got to go. She's got all 7 now, and now it really is a 1-point game, 30-29.
I'll tell you, these are the days where I'm glad I'm up here, because if I had to come up with a plan to defend Sydney Morris, I probably wouldn't feel good about myself at the end of the night.
I don't think there's too many plans that have worked against Sydney Morris, that's for sure. Top of the key now. She and Erica Wilson applying a lot of pressure. They get it inside. Great pass to Marshall. Really broke that half-court pressure well, did the Bees. They needed a bucket there. 32-29. Kayla Lee going to get tied up. They'll call this a jump ball. Possession will stay with Altavista. A lot of pressure defense from Brookville, Bob.
Bees and Colonels both defensively are applying a ton of pressure.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about it in the first half. If you like defense, you came to the right place, that's for sure. Hedgepath in the game now for Altavista. She hands it back off to T.T. Dews. Dews using the right-hand dribble. Now she'll give it back to Ryan Hedgepath. Hedgepath holds it above her head, puts it on the floor now with the dribble. Spin move, looking inside. She'll drive to the basket. Looking for help, lost the ball momentarily. Here comes another jump ball situation. 2 players tied up with it. And this time the arrow goes back to Brookville, alternating possession rule.
2:05 to go in quarter 3. And we got a ball game.
Very good one at that. 32-29, Brookville leads. Colonels had it within 1 point there moments ago, and then the Bees stretched it out again a little bit. Half-court pressure being applied by Altavista from the zone defense. Graves now, the point guard for Brookville, has it. Right-hand dribble, lost it for a second. She's going to get double-teamed now. She'll get it in the corner to Marshall.
You know, the vision of Brookville, too. Finding the open players tonight is what's impressed me.
Bounce pass along the sideline from Graves. She'll get it right back. Over to Anitra Thomas. Thomas had the hot hand in the second. Got to keep an eye on her.
I mean, in 7 days, I'm impressed at how well-oiled this team looks. You know, not that they were bad last week, but, I mean, they just really look crisp.
Yeah, they've cleaned up some of those rough edges. 3 ball on the way from Jeffries. That's good. Second one she's hit this quarter. She opened up the scoring in the third with a 3-pointer, and she gets that one to go. Letty Jeffries. Ryan Hedgepath on the other side now for the Altavista Colonel. She lost it, but she was fouled. Boy, not as many fouls getting called in this third quarter, Bob.
So that's total of what, 4 or 3?
That's 3 now. And let's see who it's on. They haven't put it up on the scoreboard. Now they have. It's on Letty Jeffries, her second. Second team foul for the Bees. 1:03 remaining in the third quarter.
Sometimes it's easier, too, to go on the road. I don't know how a young team, you know, if they like the road or home better, but sometimes you're playing in front of a few less friends.
Sometimes. Steal there from the Brookville Bees. They lost it momentarily. Marshall got it back, gets it ahead to Hayes, and Hayes makes the layup there on the nice bounce pass from Marshall. Foul on the way here from Letty Jeffries, so that'll be Jeffries' third now. and third one of the half for Brookville. Brookville leading 37-29.
Right in front of our friend Dennis Carter over there on the far side.
Yeah, Dennis always doing a good job. Has for a long time. Altavista's going to have to do a good job breaking this pressure. Full court press from the Brookville Bees. Hedgepath hasn't crossed the timeline yet. Now she has, but she fell over it, and there's a little bit of a mini scrum forward on the floor. Jump ball again. Fourth or fifth time we've had to say that this quarter. Possession arrow keeps it with the Altavista Lady Colonels.
And I'll tell you, I think a lot of people think that guys play hard and guys get upset when they make mistakes. I mean, sometimes, you know, the girls are worse. I mean, when they make a mistake, it's, you know, I mean, they're ready to go.
37-29, Brookville leads. Altavista couldn't get it inbounds there. They'll have to try again. We're down to 37 seconds in the third quarter, Bob.
And I'll tell you, Brookville really kind of hit a spurt.
Yeah, they hit it at a good time. They've almost got another steal. Bunch of players on the floor going after it. There's the jump ball again.
That ball looked loose, but
at least the sixth time I've had to say that. The ball was loose, but, you know, on the one hand, I kind of like the referee's call because there's 4 or 5 people on the floor. That's sometimes when bad things can happen.
Stop the fight too early rather than too late, right?
That's exactly right. Better safe than sorry. Down to 25 seconds now. Brookville basketball. They could make it a 10-point lead or greater here.
I like the chances of the Bees holding for one.
I would think so. They're up 37-29 right now, leading by 8. Just playing keep away momentarily against the Altavista zone. Now here comes the drive from Jeffries. Back out to Thomas. Thomas, 3 ball, back iron, can't get it to go. She's got her own rebound. Thought about going back up with it, but she passes to Marshall, and Marshall couldn't get it off before the clock wound down. Not necessarily aware of the time, but it doesn't really matter because Brookville has an 8-point lead in the third quarter. Timeout here, fourth quarter, when we come back on 105.5 KD Country.
The game is brought to you by these members of the Altavista Sports Club.
Chef's Drive-In, serving hometown pride with 18 flavors of milkshakes.
Comfort Inn in Altavista, outdoor pool and free hot breakfast with your stay.
Steve's Florist, best quality at the best price for all occasions.
El Cerrito Mexican Restaurant, authentic Mexican food, open 7 days a week.
Aubrey Rosser, attorney at law, Main Street, Altavista.
Piece of Pie Restaurant, Lower Broad Street, Altavista. Give peace a chance.
China Walk Super Buffet, American and Chinese food with the newest item, crab.
Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, your Michelin tire store.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
One more quarter of regulation basketball left, Bob Alvis. Colonels are going to need another comeback like they had last week. They trail by 8 heading into the final frame this time.
All bets are off when we get to the fourth quarter. You know, I mean, Altavista, like you said, played a great fourth quarter last week. But I'll tell you what, the Bees have not shown any signs of slowing down.
No, they haven't. Bees' defense, I think, has really been a lot better this week as opposed to last week. Not that it was bad last week or anything, but they've stepped it up just that much tonight. Erica Wilson has the basketball for the Colonels. Now to T.T. Dews. Dews thought about using a screen from Morris and decided to go the other way.
I think Colonels just need a bucket right now.
They really do, and they lost the basketball. Now Morris got it back for him. Bounce pass to Kayla Lee. Lee back to the top of the key to Erica Wilson. Wilson now looking for somebody to give it up to. She's going to have to. It was almost a 5-second call. She got it to Dews. They say it got knocked away backcourt, so no backcourt violation. Back to Erica Wilson now. Bob Alvis, you're right. Altavista really could use a bucket. Kick ball there from Graves, so that'll keep possession for the Altavista Colonels. Can't kick it. Although it really seemed to go more off her knee than her foot. But anyway, still part of the leg. And Erica Wilson has the basketball in the inbounds play for the Colonels. Foul. Anitra Thomas went over the back of Chelsea Robinson. They just tried to pass it inside to Robinson. And Thomas got a little too much of the body there. That's Thomas's third, so that's something to keep an eye on because she's been pretty dangerous for the Bees. Colonel basketball. They get it inside to Chelsea Robinson. Backboard. Can't get it to go. Graves with the rebound for the Bees. She's going to go in a hurry and lost the basketball. And they're going to say she was aided in losing that basketball by Sydney Morris. Graves came down a little awkwardly.
Graves is going to have to come out.
Well, you would think, because some coaches came out on the court for Brookville, and now the official does just say that she has to come out. So she'll take a seat for a minute. Of course, this is about the only time Graves has been out of the ball game, so I would imagine she'll take a quick breather and hop right back in there. Warner Dyke is discussing things with the official. That's why we've got some time to discuss.
Who's bringing us this fourth quarter?
Apple Markets of Altavista, Bob. A proud supporter of Altavista Colonel Athletics. 3 great locations, specials all the time. And now Warner Dyke's going to just take a timeout to talk things over with his ball club. We'll take one as well. 30-second variety here with just over 7 minutes to play. Altavista trailing by 8 on 105.5 KD Country.
Accidents happen. When your windshield is chipped, come to Apple Auto Glass, 2429 Ford Avenue. They'll repair your chip for $39.95. In shop, only $39.95. Apple Auto Glass and Mirrors, 2429 Ford Avenue, Lynchburg. Give them a call at 846-2753, 846-2753. That's 846-2753. Apple Auto Glass, proud sponsor of Altavista Sports. Go Colonels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Timeout has ended. Brookville and Altavista have discussed the things that they've wanted to. And we're back. Bees basketball. Thomas hadn't broken the timeline yet. Now she does. High pressure defense from the Colonels. Trying to cause a steal here from this zone defense. Graves down low to Jeffries. Jeffries lost it. Sydney Morris gets the steal. Morris comes up kind of awkwardly.
Well, I like the idea. Defense leading to offense. I think that's one reason the pressure's kicked up a notch.
I think you're exactly right. They get it to Chelsea Robinson. Ball held over her head from about 25 feet away. Now she passes it to Dews. Handed off back to Dews. Dews was streaking to the basket.
I'll tell you, Sydney Morris earned a lot of respect on that one. Almost triple teamed.
No kidding. They got it to Morris in the high post there at the free throw line. And you're right, 3 players collapsed on her. Then she handed it off to Dews. Foul is on Jeffries, her 4th. 6th-team foul against Brookville. So Altavista is shooting at least a 1-and-1 from here on out. And that helps for the Colonels' comeback attempts. They trail by 8.
B's got a way to go till they see the line on the bonus.
Morris up for 2. Can't get it to go. Got her own rebound. Got it again. She missed 2 of them, Bob. Got both rebounds. Put it back both times. And it finally went in on her 3rd shot attempt. 2 points there. Oh, she got fouled to boot. So she'll go to the 3-point line. Excuse me, she'll go to the free throw line to try for the 3-point play. Good stuff from Sydney Morris. Free throw up. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Barksdale from the Bees. Altavista cut into the lead a little bit. They trail by 6 now. Defense very aggressive again. And you're going to get a foul from Erica Wilson. Wilson can't believe it. And it will keep the basketball with Brookville. 3rd team foul of the half for Altavista. So they're not really in any danger in the foul category anyway. And the Bees get it across the timeline again. Here's that same high pressure. Wilson and Morris. They break the pressure, get it inside. That's Hayes. Hayes up for 2. It won't go down. And a good rebound from Kalia Donegan. Nice defense from the Altavista Lady Colonels.
Colonels don't look like they're in a bit of a rush, but I really don't know if they need to hurry at this point. Still a ton of time left, 5:45, but they really look like they're trying to get the ball down the floor quicker than quick.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe they're trying to beat Brookville's defense down there so the Bees can't set up their D or what, but I think you make a good point. The Colonels do seem like they're in a little bit of a hurry. 3 ball away from Kayla Lee. That won't go in, and it's rebounded by Brookville. They've lost it. Probably a walking violation. Now they just say that Ashton Hayes stepped out of bounds instead. So either way, it's a turnover. Altavista ball. She was just stuck on that baseline with nowhere to go, and it was, again, Sydney Morris applying a lot of pressure. Inbounded to Morris. Can't get the layup to go. Donegan went after the rebound, but couldn't get it. Thomas has it now for Brookville. Left-hand dribble going up the left sideline. Picks it up over to Graves. Now inside to Hayes. Hayes with a jump shot. Won't go in. Rebounded by the Bees. That's Alexis Rosser, and Rosser is fouled. She'll go back to the free throw line. Rosser was the one that impressed you and I both last week, Bob. And it's 3 fouls on Erica Wilson now for the Colonels.
4th on the Colonels has a team. Rosser will shoot a pair.
5:21 to go in this ball game. First free throw up and good.
38-31 Brookville. Morris is going to come out.
I have a feeling it won't be for very long. And Rosser's second free throw on the way. It's up and it's good. Makes both of them. And that extends the Brookville lead. 39-31 now. The Bees leading in this one. Erica Wilson has the basketball for the Colonels. Down low on the left wing to Chelsea Robinson. Robinson now top of the key to Lee. Dews has it over the top of her head. Back to Wilson. Now inside to Donegan. Everybody's touched it for the Colonels, and Donegan goes up and gets fouled. Basket won't go. 2 shots on the way.
And Donegan home away from home. That free throw line.
Yeah, between her and Morris, they've spent a lot of time there in these last 2 games. That's 4 fouls on Alexis Rosser. Excuse me, that's 4 fouls on Anitra Thomas. So Thomas and Jeffries both have 4 fouls for the Bees. First free throw, no good from Donegan.
The iron unkind tonight. Altavista from the line.
Yeah, really, they were good early, but lately they haven't been very good. I think the fact that Jeffries and Thomas both have 4 fouls for Brookville, Bob, is not good news for the Bees, because that's 2 players that have done the bulk of their scoring. Second one up and good. Hit the back block and then went in for Donegan. 39-32 now. Altavista trailing.
Brookville still playing around in the backcourt. You can do that in college.
Yeah, you still got 10 seconds in high school. Ball tipped away. Brookville almost lost it, but they got it back. Now they almost lost it again. They're close to that half-court line. They get it to Graves. Graves down low to Jeffries. Jeffries bounce pass to Rosser. Rosser can't get it to go. Hayes has it. She'll just hand it back out to Rosser, and Rosser might have walked, and she did. Warner Dyke thought maybe she was pushed a little bit. I think he certainly had an argument there, but the official thought otherwise.
There was some contact for sure.
Well, it is a contact sport. It's not a collision sport, but it is a contact sport. Altavista basketball. They trail by 7, under 5 minutes to go, under 4.5 minutes to go now. Erica Wilson bounced pass to the left wing to Robinson. Robinson was looking for Donegan down low, but the ball skips out of bounds. Donegan couldn't get there as the pass was just too far out in front of her.
Morris going back in.
Yeah, she'll check in for Chelsea Robinson. Brookville has not subbed much lately. Coach Spencer on the other side has. It's been 7 or 8 players playing so far tonight for Altavista.
Bees need to get it in the front court quickly.
Yeah, you only got 10 seconds in that back court. They finally do, and now they call it. Whistle wasn't real loud, and it was odd because the Bees really weren't pressured in the back court. Right. Altavista's not pressuring them until they step across that half-court stripe. It's the old half-court trap, and it's worked well for Altavista. Donegan had to save it, threw it back in bounds. Morris got it knocked away. She's going to try and get it back and can't. Brookville has it on the fast break. Jeffries, layup, good. Rattled around for a second and finally went in. Coach Deborah Spencer wants a timeout. Can't get any officials' attention yet. Still trying to call the timeout. Now finally does. And we'll take it with her. 30-second timeout here as Altavista trailing by 9. 41-32, under 4 minutes to play in this one on 105.5 KD Country.
At First National Bank, we have no service charges on debit cards, and we don't plan to. I'm Courtney Woody, and our local bank offers a variety of accounts for everyone, which will help you bank better and bank for less. First National also has no monthly maintenance fees on free checking, nonprofit, and faith-based checking accounts. If you're worried about your banking fees, contact First National Bank today. We have over 100 years of dependable, low-cost banking. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from Altavista High School, live, it's the Lady Colonels versus the Lady Bees from Brookville. Bob, Brookville doesn't seem like they want to surrender the fourth quarter lead this time around.
No, and, I mean, Bees really have kept it on full throttle. And, the one thing I was thinking about, you talk about that turnover where they weren't experiencing that much pressure in the backcourt. I'll bet Jeff Woody would like that much pressure not to be coming on Kendall Beecraft tomorrow when the Bees go for a state title against James Monroe. Third time.
The Bees would love to have some time in the backfield to throw tomorrow. Altavista has the basketball back. We'll talk some football in the postgame. Shot up by Sydney Morris, no good. Trying to get the steal here as Graves was able to get out of pressure and skip it on along to Jeffries. Jeffries now bounce pass inside to Barksdale. Jumper no good. Rosser had it back, got it blocked, but there's a foul in the act of shooting. This is going to go against Kayla Lee. Rosser going to go back to the free throw line for the Bees, Bob. She made her last two there.
Tell you what, I'm more impressed with what Brookville has done tonight and with what Altavista hasn't been able to do as well as they wanted. Bees have been very crisp.
Yeah, Bees do look like they've gotten a lot better in a week's time. Again, I think it's a lot of it is that defense has gotten really good. But they're certainly getting the ball in the hole a lot more, too. That's for sure. First free throw up and good from Rosser. Second one's no good. Rebound by Kalia Donegan. And she gets it ahead to Kayla Lee. Erica Wilson has it back now. Just in front of half court, they got it back to Lee. T.T. Dews has it. Don't think Dews has scored tonight. She might have two.
Yeah, I don't think she has a lot, though. Hadn't gotten going from the arc.
That's right. Foul on the floor. It's going to send Donegan to the free throw line for a 1-on-1 situation. She was just mugged as she was trying to get the ball.
And, I think Brookville has got some district contests at least before Christmas. And, I always think it's early for district games before Christmas. I mean, I know you got to get a schedule in, so you got to play them. But, same thing for, Altavista. Boys, girls, whoever.
Yeah.
Those early season district games count big.
There's at least 3 or 4 district games before Christmas. Gretna, of course, is Tuesday. We'll talk more about that in the postgame, both on the girls and the guys' side. First free throw up, and it's no good from Donegan. Rebound shot off hard. Altavista could not get it back. Bees will throw the long cross-court pass down in the left-hand corner. That's Barksdale. Barksdale trying to dribble her way out of trouble, and she throws a long pass to nobody. Goes out of bounds. Graves went up in the stands to try and save it, but could not. Now Altavista will get the ball back.
I think this is something that could concern Warner Dyke. Don't force things.
Yeah. Yeah, Brookville tried some really long passes there. One of them worked, one of them did not. And you're sort of playing with fire when you throw a ball airborne for more than 20 or 30 feet like they did right there. Sydney Morris has it now over to Dews. Erica Wilson, middle of the court, over her head, about 30 feet away. Inside to Donegan now. Donegan just got it stripped away from her. Graves has got it on the fast break for Brookville. Throws it up, really out of control, but she was fouled. Doesn't matter. She'll go to the free throw line. Shot was no good. 16 foul for the Colonels. And it's the second foul for Kayla Lee. Graves is going to go to the line and shoot a pair, Bob. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remain in this one. 42-32. Brookville leads. Make that 43. That one's up and good from Graves. Bees ahead 11 now. Second one on the way from Graves. Right-hand shooter. Goes up. Off back iron, then the backboard. No good. Sydney Morris comes away with it. Altavista's really got to go. They've only got 2.5 minutes, and they're down 11. Dews looking for a screen from Donegan. Now she passes it away. Lee has it on the left-hand wing. She'll dribble to her right towards the middle of the court. Erica Wilson in front of the half-court marker. Gets it to Sydney Morris. Morris's jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Hayes, and Morris took it right back. Now bounce pass to Donegan. Donegan gets it to go for 2. And Coach Deborah Spencer wants to take a timeout to talk things over. Maybe Altavista does have a chance in this one. 2:03 remains in the ball game. Colonels trail by 9. Timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
50 years of outstanding high school sports coverage on 105.5 KD Country. Fourth quarter brought to you by Apple Markets of Altavista, Gateway, Main Street, and Riverside Minute Market. Specials all the time. Altavista may need a special comeback. They're down by 9, 43-34. Just over 2 minutes to play in this one, Bob.
Coming down to the wire, and Altavista's got to get busy in a hurry. I think if you're Brookville, this is a situation where you need to learn how to protect leads late.
Absolutely. Brookville's going to be in this situation again at some point this year. Graves almost lost it off of her own player. And Brookville flirting with that backcourt again. Now they break the timeline. And Graves weaving her way through a bunch of players. Puts up a 15-footer. Can't get it to go. Erica Wilson's got a rebound for the Colonels. This is what Altavista needed to score quick. Sydney Morris pulls up on the low block. Doesn't shoot, but Dews will shoot a three. And it's good. T.T. Dews knocks it down. 43-37 now. Like I said, this is what the Colonels needed.
No shot clock.
No, there is no shot clock, so Brookville could theoretically hold on to it, but this high-pressure defense is going to make that tough. Thomas is in trouble. Double-teamed by Morris and Wilson, and I think Warner Dyke called a timeout before that basketball went out of bounds. No signal yet from the official.
I think Deborah Spencer's asking, since when did the rules change when you can call a timeout when the ball's in the air?
I don't know.
She felt that was a pass.
There's the signal, but we're about 15 seconds into the timeout anyway, so let's just keep it here, Bob. 6-point ball game, minute 21 remaining in the contest.
You know, the high-pressure offense, you mentioned Kyle Haney. If you're Brookville, maybe you look for a breakdown to see if you can get something on that block and chip one in. I mean, you know, that pressure's going to be coming, but I don't think that means you need to force a shot unless it's an open shot.
Yeah, the way Altavista has been playing defense with this half-court trap is they're waiting for Brookville to cross that half-court line. That's when they pick up the high-pressure defense, and they're using the sideline and the half-court line almost as extra defenders. And really, it's worked out very well, but sometimes you do give up a layup every now and then. Brookville had a hard time getting it in bounds. Now they finally do. We're under 1:20 now. Graves hadn't broken the half-court line just yet. Yep. They finally crossed the timeline with Thomas. Jeffries thought about a three. She's double-teamed in the corner. Now up top to Graves, and they do find somebody open down low. It's number 42, Ashton Hayes. Great job by Brookville moving the basketball around and finding the opening. Colonels have got to hurry again. Dews hands it off to Morris. Morris is about 15 feet away, driving in. You're going to say she walked.
And, you know, the longer you keep the pressure on out there, Kyle, and keep the things going in the backcourt or the perimeter, chances are you're going to have that defensive breakdown to where somebody's going to get open down low.
Yeah, under a minute now, 47 seconds. Brookville's broken the timeline again. Bounce pass inside. That's Jeffries. She gets it in for two, and that may all but do it for Altavista. Coach Deborah Spencer wants another timeout. We'll take this one with her. 30-second timeout. Brookville pulling away here at the end of the game. They lead by 10 on 105.5 KD Country.
The memory of the loss of a loved one can be difficult to cope with during the holiday season. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services invites you to a holiday remembrance service this Sunday at 4. The Reverend Bobby Brumfield, pastor from New Beginnings Baptist Church, will conduct this special service to honor families who have lost a loved one during the past year. That's this Sunday at 4 at Finch & Finch Chapel in Altavista. For a special webcast, go to FinchandFinchFuneralService.com for more information.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Live from Altavista High School, Colonels trail by 10. Just over 45 seconds remaining in the ball game, Bob. It's getting into the improbable territory. And you got to give the Bees a lot of credit here. They've played very well down the stretch.
I mean, I think you got to give the Bees a ton of credit. A young team going on the road. And like I mentioned, you know, sometimes I think some coaches actually like the road games better. As weird as that may sound.
It doesn't sound that weird. I just think I'm with you. I'm very impressed by Brookville because, they lose a lead last week, a week ago to this same team. So sometimes that can be in your head a little bit. And I think it's pretty impressive that they've managed to hold on to this one.
Especially with the young group.
Young group of kids out there. Although it's not all finished and said and done just yet. Altavista's got 38 seconds to cut into this lead and try and come back. Dews, left-hand dribble. Now she hands it off to Casey Cox, who's checked in the game. Dews over her head. Altavista's going to have to score in a hurry here if they're thinking about a comeback. Morris loses the basketball. Bees have it. Don't know if Altavista will foul. They're down a bunch. Thomas hasn't broken the timeline yet. Now they finally do.
Looks like they were trying to.
Yeah, it sort of did. Thomas has the basketball away from the court, or away from the basket, I should say. Skip pass goes over to Jeffrey. She loses it, but that ran off a bunch of time on the clock. We're down to 6.2 seconds left in the game. So Brookville will go on to win this one. They lead by 10. Let's see if the Lady Colonels can get a last-second shot up here. Down to 3 seconds now. 2, 1. Dews fires up a running three-pointer. Rims out. Won't go in. So it will be a 10-point margin that the Lady Bees win by. Nice win for Brookville. We'll be back on the Subway post-game show to wrap it all up. 47-37 out.